Grace, can you explain as to why, innocent, you brought a guest that you were asking the name of the guest on set? Very unprofessional, unacceptable. Why was that? Grace, why was that?
I personally felt that they needed to introduce themselves to the viewers. So I thought at the moment it was the right thing.
You personally thought that?
Yes, sir.
Well, you can take your personal feelings outside. This is a serious competition with high stakes, and I'm looking for professionalism. And that kind of personal thinking doesn't exist here.
I have decided to exit the competition at this stage because, for personal reasons, first of all, but if it were not for those reasons, I would have really wanted to go through with the competition, because it's something that I feel is going to groom so many who are yet to be eliminated.
Costa is on the search for his next diamond. Hundreds came, but only 20 were selected. 1 elimination and 2 dropouts later, we have 17 contestants left. But Costa wants to even out the numbers.
Like I said before, this competition will test you mentally and it will test you physically. We're looking for discipline, hard work, innovation, and creativity. I am the ultimate judge, and I'm entitled to make decisions. We are looking for 18 of you to continue from this point onwards. At this time, I have made a decision, and this is how it goes. Hello?
Hello.
Am I speaking to Elesani?
Yes, you are.
Elesani, this is Costa Mwansa from Diamond TV.
Yes, please.
You were eliminated in the last round. Would you be interested in getting back onto the show if we gave you a second chance?
Yes, sir. That would be an honor, a very big one.
I have decided that you're back on the show, and we are excited to have you back, and we want to see you as soon as possible.
Thank you.
We'll see you back.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can see that many of you are elated to have Elesani back. Like I said, this is serious business and there is a lot at stake. I have decided to bring him back on the basis that Grace has provided space for him. Elesani is indeed talented, and he was not one of the worst. He, I'm sure, would have done better than some of you that were still remaining on the show. So I still encourage you to do your best and bring your A game. I'll be seeing you shortly.
Improvisation is an imperative trait for any presenter. One must be able to think on their feet and at the same time convince the viewer that what they are doing is part of the plan. The best way to learn? Experience. And that is what Costa's guest today has in abundance.
I have a special guest with me, an elder brother in the industry, somebody that I've watched on TV myself from the time I was a young person. Innocent Kalaluka, the smooth IK. as you may know him, has been on Zambian TV for the longest time. Some jokingly say he's the Mugabe of Zambian TV. But so much that we can learn from Innocent, who has to his name so many productions. Smooth IK is his name, Smooth Talk is his program, Born and Bred, among many more, football commentary and so much. But one thing that Innocent is going to talk to you about today is how to improvise when you are on set, because so many things can definitely go wrong while you're doing live TV or basically any production. It could be a technical equipment malfunction. It could be even a fly passing through the studio. Or it could be that the guest has said something wrong. How do you hold fort? And how do you keep control of a program and improvise?
In this week's challenge, the contestants are being tested on their ability to improvise on live television.
How I would describe the journey of the Diamond TV presenter, it's been very exciting. I've come to discover some things about myself that I didn't really know. As I always say, every challenge that I put myself up for and every new experience is a journey of self-discovery. So there's definitely a lot that I've learned, and I'll take that with me.
Experience teaches you that. You can just look and say, I think that one has got it. So some people come with it, some people learn it. But 3/4 of those that really succeed have it. Because again, it's about your personality, what you bring. All of you guys are, well, no. No, I thought I was talking to students, so I was going to say, all of you guys have got diplomas or something. Okay, so because you see, so that somebody can come with a diploma in here, but you guys will beat them hands down, because I'm not saying you will automatically, but I'm just saying it's not the diploma. Yeah, it's about you. Things always change. What do they say? The only thing that's constant is change. So because of that, you have to change with it. Or else then you become irrelevant. So if now you're used to talking to JK and them, then there's Chandana K, talk to Chandana K. You can't say, this is music they're playing, even if you don't like it. That's what the fans want. So you give it to the fans. So, but generally you have to be relevant to to your surroundings. You have to be alive to your surroundings and work with that. Really, that's what it is. Even dress code, for instance, what people are wearing now, everything, you have to be on top of your game all the time, because it's very easy to become irrelevant. You know, and of course, there will be those people pushing that, hey, why doesn't he just stop? Why? Yeah, maybe the question, why don't they just start? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Still to come on the Diamond TV Presenter Search.
And mind you, this is a show. This is the Let's Fix It segment. I haven't heard anything that the two of you have fixed out of the two phone calls.
Innocent Kalaluka gave the contestants a couple of key points to help them execute their task. It's time to get busy. In this week's task, the contestants are paired up and are required to co-host a show. The catch? There are a set of unique mishaps, not new to television production, that they will be faced with. Starting us off are Cosmos and George. What challenge will be thrown their way?
Welcome back, and you are still tuned into Diamond TV, and this is The Takeoff, the only show centered around science and entrepreneurship. Before the break, we mentioned some of the areas we'll be looking at today. That's not the script. Do you mind if we cut? That's not the script. It's jumbled.
He says
the script is jumbled.
The wrong script on
I
didn't take the people into break. I was supposed to do that.
I was supposed to take the people into a break. Okay.
I think it was very clear from word go. The task and assignment for this week is improvisation skills.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're giving an excuse that the script was not shown, because each group obviously was given different tasks of something going wrong during this presentation. John.
It is. Well, also, I'd like to find out from you if within your presentation you didn't keep in mind the aspect of improvisation, because that was this week's challenge.
Of course, it was about improvisation, but the first time when we were being told the challenge, we were told that we have to follow the script word for word. So having that in mind, we knew that the teleprompter won't go wrong. And so we have to follow each word according to what we're told.
But obviously, no one was going to tell you that what would go wrong in your case was the teleprompter, because we're trying to give you a situation that happens in normal day TV.
That's right.
So you were told you're live and something goes wrong. You can't give an excuse to say we were not told that. Then there's no need for a challenge if we're going to tell you what would go wrong.
That's right.
What we're trying to see out there is how you respond if something went wrong, and clearly took you over 5 minutes or under 6 minutes to get back. And I could see you calling for a break, and we're imagining that obviously that is live TV. We later came back. Cosmas, I see you referring so much to your script. George, obviously we're fluffing most of your lines, repeating yourself like you could see there. How do you think you performed in this task?
We didn't do good. Or personally, I didn't do so well, because I literally tried to start remembering everything even in a moment of panic, and I tried by all means to improvise, which came out okay to some extent, but then for most part it wasn't good.
Grace and Khotso are a well-spoken and poised pair. Would that calmness be enough to handle their guest on set?
There's a messy guest on the other hand who just keeps talking, it doesn't make sense. And it's a show, we have to make this show work, so it was...
Did the show work?
No.
Okay, it's your first time watching it, just like the both of us, so let's see how it went.
Now in studio we have today with us a very special guest who is a script writer, he is a producer, he is a videographer, he is a film director. Matthew Kasaka, welcome and thank you for joining us in studio.
Well, I've got a very big complaint. I came here a long time ago and it's very cold in here. So I don't know, I've stayed here hours and hours. You didn't even offer me like even water or juice. So I don't know, but it's good. We can continue.
My apologies. So can we get some water for the
gentleman? I don't want it now. You can give me later.
My apologies.
You can continue with the questions.
Thank you so much for being here. I would love to find out what inspired you to become a filmmaker.
I started a long time ago. Sometime very far away. Actually, my grandfather was a filmmaker. He bought a small camera and he used to teach us. We used to go in the jungle. We used to run around, jump here and there. And from there, that's how I actually learned. And we spent a lot of time, you know, operating that camera. We didn't know any idea about it. We tried and tried, spent nights, days, nights, until we discovered exactly how to operate it. And then that's it. That's how I started.
Interesting. That's very inspirational. And we can see that your grandfather did play an important role in the bringing of your career so far. But yes, what would you say, or who would you accredit your success to in terms of mentorship and career guidance?
On that one, I think it's myself. Yes, I think it's myself. I spent a lot of time studying, using my grandfather and my friends' knowledge.
So, Grace, what's going on there? Your facial expressions, what's going on?
I was, what can I say, in a state of shock, first and foremost.
But you can't show the viewers that.
Unfortunately, I'm learning to control my facial expressions. That was me trying not to laugh.
Oh my goodness. So you wanted to burst out into laughter?
That's like my panic reaction.
Yeah. So the whole idea of the task, again, is that yes, it's improvisation, but you're being thrown under the bus in just what may happen. I mean, over my 18 years, I've interviewed people like Chimba Kambu. I've interviewed people like Bowman Lusambo. I've interviewed people like Muriokena.
Like Michael Sata.
Michael Sata. I mean, those guys will pick on you and tell you that you don't know what you're talking about. Or what happens anyway when you interview a comedian? Because the times you interview a comedian and he says something, well, maybe that's a lighter show, you're allowed to laugh, but if this is like your facial expressions from you're like saying, who is this guy like? And then Kotso, I think you were taken aback on the very first time the guest embarrassed your crew over the water, and both of you really just didn't handle that very well. Grace, you were saying something, but then you stopped. Like, you're really taken aback.
I was, because ultimately we did have the earpiece, and you know, they kept saying, handle the situation. I'm thinking, okay, let me take charge, let me handle the situation. But then I was basically waiting on Grace to also kind of get the hint to say, this is what's happening now, this is the point where we're at, we need to sort of put him in his place, because you equally don't want to show the viewers that you're losing it, but then it was...
And that's the whole point. It's your set, it's your studio, you have to take charge. I'm speaking from an experience of politicians that really would want to get their way and take over your show. And if you're really not careful, sometimes politicians or some guests will even begin to ask you, the presenter, questions, and the interview sort of, you know, swaps. But Grace, really, your facial expressions show me that you're out of this show, and your guest just has mesmerized you. And part of preparation for an interview, did you have any pep talk with the guest beforehand?
Not quite. Not
really. We had a brief conversation.
Yeah, so there's need to warm up to the guest and understand, create rapport, like they say, but you cannot show that really on live TV. Let's continue. Let's see more.
Then it brought me all that inspiration. I spent a lot of time writing and writing and writing, studying and studying and studying, YouTube, Facebook. You know, you need to study the environment. You need to go deep. You need to research, do research and research and research until you find as much information as you can. And then also the Bopen was my friend, because I spent hundreds and hundreds of nights writing and writing and writing. Then criticism also helps, because you need to get criticized when someone comes and tells you, no, here you haven't done a good job. Sometimes you can be angry, it's fine, but sometimes you move on. So and then after you move on, you need to make sure that everything is actually in place.
Okay,
I've actually written a lot of movies, and most of them they are actually selling. Some of them they are in cinemas. Some of them are on TV,
and I'm sure that is very wonderful. Not to cut you short, sir, but we do have limited time. The next question we would like to ask is that, what is your take on the Zambian film industry so far?
I think you were trying to find a way of how to cut in. You attempted. Obviously, at some point, I'm a presenter myself. You cannot be blamed when you've got guests, and you will find guests that behave like that. But I love the way you come into that, you know, Kotso, politely. And it's seamless. It's not noisy.
And well, I think that it's a technique that you need to develop along the way, because it's true, some guests will just not stop. And as harsh as it may be, sometimes you need to keep talking a little bit more for them to stop talking. Because I noticed Grace was trying to stop him, but and
laugh and just attempting not to laugh. Let's continue.
On live television, presenters must master the art of blocking out any peripheral distractions and maintain their focus on delivering to the viewer. Do Hope and Opa have that skill?
That's right, and first on the list of the people who are celebrating their birthdays today, we have the famous actor Rami Malek, famously known for his role in the movie Bohemian Rhapsody as Frederick Mercury. He also featured in the 2021 movie as Safin. Today he turns 41.
Okay, so happy 41st birthday to you, Mr. Malek. Now, next on the people that are celebrating their birthday today, we have actress Emily Vancamp. Now, Emily Vancamp has, is known to star in a lot of movies. We could talk of Revenge. We could talk of Brothers and Sisters. She's featured in The Ring.
The Girl on the Book.
Girl on the Book. And I think one that a lot of people know her for is her role as Sharon in Captain America.
That's right, Captain America. And you know what, Hope? That's a movie where I knew her from. I mean, I'm not a fan of movies. But...
So did you see him or not? Yeah, I'm just asking if you saw
the guy behind.
Yes.
Oh, you saw him.
Yes.
Internalizing your script requires you to understand your topic and at a large extent speak on it with little to no reference to your script. Let's see how well Innocent and Rose understand their topic.
Welcome to Actually Factually, where we bring you all fun facts and topics that are deemed controversial.
We talk about these topics with no fear nor shame. Jesus Christ, the prompter.
Well, of course, we are talking about controversial topics. On today's amazing episode, we're talking about the outrageous things that people do for money.
Well, guys, so I think it's very clear from what you lamented that your reaction, Innocent, was pretty bad. If that is live TV, you cannot say, well, the auto-cue, the teleprompter just went, off. I agree with Rose that the control thereafter was much better, but we'll still have to see what happens during elimination, whether that reaction saves you or takes you to the next round. But that was the whole essence of the challenge.
Justin and Mercy are faced with literally an everyday challenge on both television and radio. This could be easy, or it could not.
Got another caller. Let's take this call. Good morning and welcome to the Diamond Breakfast Show. You are live. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
I'm calling in from the line.
I beg your pardon?
My name is Jack. I'm calling in from the line.
Jack, what is going on in the line?
Yeah.
Not so much. We are trying to just ensure that we keep safe and clear of COVID-19. But
Okay.
what will be the most is
You don't have any issues affecting you in Lilai? There's nothing going on?
earlier, and I can gather that you guys just don't know. You don't know stuff. What kind of presenters are you?
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to cut you off because. Okay.
Thank you very much for your
viewer.
contribution. From what I got, he said that they don't have much going on in Lilai, so I was sort of impressed. All right, that's all for the show. Thank you very much. We've appreciated having you with us and contributing. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, so that we can fix it. Yeah.
I really will not accept your excuse when you say on the day of filming this particular task you were not feeling so well. Unfortunately, the viewer is not interested in that. There's something very off your presentation. You seem very uneasy, you're all over smiling and okay. And mind you, this is a show, this is the Let's Fix It segment. I haven't heard anything that the two of you have fixed out of the two phone calls. As much as we're trying to see your improvisation, but you must also hold the other facets of this TV program. It's the Let's Fix It segment. Somebody calls from Chamba Valley, they don't have a neighborhood watch. What recommendations are you talking about? Are you appealing to the police service to look at this issue? Are you appealing to the residents to quickly? I mean, those things didn't come out. But mainly for me, this show is messy, very irritating because you keep talking over each other.
How well can Nomalanga and Pezzo multitask, or at the very least, carry on a conversation with a very distracting voice in their head?
So our task was indirectly that we should improvise, so we didn't really know what exactly would be thrown at us. But our objective as the show that we came up with was basically embracing yourself. So we were talking about the different things that women have to do or have started doing just so they can feel and look appealing?
We were given earpieces, and then there were like constant statements that were being made throughout our whole presentation, and we just had to pretty much not get distracted.
Welcome to Embracing You. I'm your host, Nomalanga Moyo.
And I'm your host, Pezo Eri Lufunda. Every individual reaches a point in life of having low self-esteem, feeling hard-pressed, especially when society requires for a certain standard to be met in all aspects of life.
As women, we all have different ways of gaining confidence in ourselves. And it's getting easier with the advancing of beauty products, fashion, to mention a few. And the constant struggle remains, what is it for you to remain true to yourself?
Well, Western culture has had a very, very huge impact to all women around the world. I've grown to witness how Western culture continues to emphasize that lighter skin is more appealing than darker skin. Even our own African artists feel that having a light-skinned woman in a music video will make it sell more.
I really agree with you, Pezo. You know, cosmetology, that business has really boomed everywhere in Africa. I mean, they moved from creams, lotions, soaps, and now they've moved to pills and injections, really. Like, I'm trying to see what they're doing nowadays. It's overwhelming.
Well, indeed, Noma, it's safe to say that social media has played a huge role, you know, in this, and it has played a huge role. And I've come to realize how powerful social media influencers can be. I've come across beauty blogs, makeup tutorial videos, and of course, self-care and skincare routines. I mean, the question is, are these influencers, you know, doing more harm than good?
You know, if you ask me, that is the million-dollar question, Pezo. And if you tell me, I would say yes, they're doing more harm than good. Why? Because there are people who are trying to follow their social media role models. They're trying to look that way. And even now, ladies are now enhancing their own bodies. They want bigger this, bigger that. Like, really, what is it? I think they're doing more than what they're doing.
Well, speaking of being comfortable in your own skin, many women feel prettier when they are wearing hair extensions or wigs. While studies have shown that.
My thoughts about Costa and the diamond that he's looking for, he did mention that it's very personal to him, and it seems that it's a specific element or characteristic that he's looking for in one of the individuals. And yeah, you can't really blame him. He wants what he wants, so.
Conducting yourself in a professional manner is important on set. But how do you react when a crew member is unprofessional? Chiambi and Nova are next.
At first, I froze because the distraction was a little too much, and then I was confused. I was like, is he talking to us? Is he talking to the crew? So for a moment, I stopped talking. And then he's like, you're live, and I was like, oh my God. And then I just had to make up a technical problem excuse, but it was very disturbing. They managed to really and then I was just trying to, you know, keep my line of thought, being that I was talking about financial literacy, so I just wanted to make sure that I still give people the information that I needed to deliver. So yeah, eventually I pulled through. We managed to just finish.
I did get distracted too. I actually froze. But like Nova said, we managed to pick up and just ignored him.
Good morning and welcome to the Diamond TV Breakfast Show. I'm so glad that you've made it. You've woken up early. I must say I'm quite impressed. I am your host, Nova Mandla.
And I am Chiambi Timbo. I advise you to grab a pen and paper because on today's segment, we will be talking about financial literacy because, hey, money makes the world go round.
Indeed, Chiambi, money does make the world go round. Now, for a lot of you, you might be wondering where your money goes. You work so effortlessly. You work so effortlessly and tirelessly, you know, and you have no idea where your money is going. So now today we're actually going to tell you how to spend your money and how to ensure that your money grows.
So with that being said, what is financial literacy? Well, financial literacy is the ability to make smart money decisions, to make smart financial decisions, to help you achieve your earnings, your budgeting, saving, and investing.
Oh my God.
Well, in any case, that should never happen.
It shouldn't. It's a life.
But then you froze it, and the viewers are watching. What's going on? You can hear the director screaming to you, still live.
Yes, you are.
Sorry about that. We had a technical difficulty. So yes, talking about financial literacy, it's quite important that
let's just pause it there.
Time is money, quite literally, when it comes to television. Keeping your show within its time bounds is a primary job of any director on a live set. How well can presenters stick to that time when they lack a guiding hand? Ntalasha and Elesani are up.
I think we did perform fairly well. I think what we tried to work on when we were preparing outside was just coordination. So like no dead air. I don't know if you call it the same. On radio it's called dead air. I don't know what's called on actual TV. So like we tried not to have like awkward pauses in between us. So I think in that aspect we did all right.
Did you notice that you didn't have a director?
No. I'm still getting wrapping my head around like the job of a director and all that stuff. So even when I'm doing the wrong thing, sometimes I'm just, my ignorance leaves me in bliss.
How did you know that your time was up?
How did we know? I don't think we timed it actually, we just estimated.
One of the most frustrating things for any presenter is a guest cancelling on a scheduled interview minutes before the show. What's worse, them just not showing up.
Well, I wanted to speak, and then the goodness is that she already heard that the guest wasn't going to come, so she just immediately picked up from there. So that,
when she said when I think someone was speaking in my ear, and they said the guest was cancelled. I signaled to her just to keep on running.
Just to keep on running. So I can say Musanda really did help a lot. We'll be bringing up ideas, and she really did help me like tone down because my energy is up there, and so she really helped with coaching and everything. So I can say it was a very good pairing.
Let's see what you guys did.
Good evening and welcome to today's segment of Ukwisha. I'm your host, Musonda Chizenga.
And I am Zian SZ. Now, we are commemorating International Nurses Day. So happy Nurses Day to all the nurses over the world. We really do appreciate you.
Indeed, happy International Nurses Day. Now, the World Health Organization has indicated that Zambia is one of the third highest numbers of cervical cancer. This is 66.4 women per 100,000 women. That's a very high number.
It's a very high number for Zambia being a very small country, and then we have the highest, the third highest in the whole world.
Indeed. So today we will be discussing cervical cancer. Okay. Now, what is cervical cancer?
So before we actually talk about cervical cancer, I would really like to talk about it, before we talk about the topic itself, I would really like to elaborate more on what it is before we even talk about the causes and everything. Yeah. What is cervical cancer?
I mean, it is said to be a malignant tumor in the lower part of the uterus. That basically means it's in the womb.
So wait, it's in the womb, because I was actually thinking about the other types of tumors which we have. So what makes it different is that because it's in the womb.
Yes. Unfortunately, we have a guest that was supposed to come and talk to us today, Dr. Enoch Kaputula,
a medical practitioner, a gynecologist.
And a nurse as well.
Yeah, sadly, he couldn't really come through the show. He cancelled last minute. So, but we'll still be talking about cervical cancer as the show goes on.
After the break, elimination. This week's task is one of the toughest of the competition so far, and the contestants were expected to be as creative and quick to think as they possibly could. Elisani was brought back into the competition, and now he faces the elimination room one more time.
When Costa called me to tell me I'm back in the competition, hey, it literally felt like Jerusalem coming down to me. I was so ecstatic, I could not believe it. I screamed at the top of my lungs immediately after the call was done. And I think it's really coming to me now, it's dawning to me now that I'm here back in the competition. This is when I'm believing it. When he called then, I slept on it, still did not sink in, but after I came back, yeah, man, I'm really humbled, I'm really, really thankful.
But if it's one thing we've learned so far, is that no one is ever safe.
Who I feel is the diamond that Costa is looking for. Firstly, I'm going to say that none of us know what Costa is looking for. He himself knows. And secondly, I can say that this one was a really tough competition because everyone here was really good. And at the end of the day, it's just going to be up to Costa to select that. But I can say everyone is good.
Contestants, welcome back to the elimination room. Let me remind you that this is a competition of high stakes. It is very personal to me, and I told you that season 3 of the Diamond TV Presenter Search is unique in that it gets tougher every week. I, for one, do not condone mediocrity. I, for one, look for seriousness, innovation, and discipline. This week, we've looked at your work. Some of you have performed well, while others have not performed good enough. For some of you, I need to caution you. You will sail through to the next round, but I expect much better from you. Cosmos and George, your presentation, I think, deserves much better. But both of you are strong candidates, and I wish to see you continue in the show. Elisani as well, something was missing this week, but I think you can do better and we'll still keep you on the show. For others, the lesson this week is that anything on set can go wrong. A director will talk to you in the talkback, anything will happen. You need to keep your cool, you need to keep your concentration, and you need to show that you're in the game and you're absolutely doing nothing at that moment than being in charge on set. Some of you, Grace, and your co-host were given one of the most difficult challenges of interviewing a very controversial and difficult guest. But it showed that the guest took over your show and you were not in charge. But ultimately, in this week's task, 2 of you have to go home. And your journey with the Diamond TV Presenter Search will have to unfortunately end here. Grace, Chiambi, Justin, and Pezzo, can you step in front and swap positions? Chiambi, you can swap positions with Mercy. The 4 of you are up for elimination this week. I must say, Grace, that your task or challenge this week was one of the most difficult. What we were looking for is how the presenter navigates their way around this challenge that is thrown at you. I did not expect you to be laughing on set or really attempting to laugh and withdraw yourself from the interview. During the presentation session, I clearly pointed out that I loved how your co-presenter, Kotso, came in to interrupt the guest. Most often you failed to do that. And ultimately, the both of you failed to take charge of that show. As a presenter, you have moments where a guest will want to continue talking over you. It's your set, it's your program, you have the power to direct the show in the manner it will go. And you completely failed to do that, and that is why you're on the chopping board. Do you think I'm being unfair? So you deserve to be where you are right now. Justin, you were up for elimination last week, and you're back in the bottom 4 again. Why so?
I'm really not sure.
I can't hear you.
I'm really not sure.
I cannot have a person vying to be a diamond if they have no confidence to speak to me. Why do you find yourself down in the bottom 4 this week again?
To be honest, I can only really blame my health. I wasn't feeling that way.
You're not feeling well.
I'm feeling much better now, but I wasn't feeling well.
Like I told you in the presentation room, the viewers at home and the viewers out there don't care whether you've argued with your mother or you've argued with your girlfriend or you're not feeling well. They expect nothing but the level best of you. And it showed on TV that your A game was not there and you're up for elimination. Pezzo, I keep on saying, for me, this is very personal and serious. You're not taking this competition seriously. Why?
I feel that I am giving my all. And as for yesterday's task, as I mentioned earlier, I was caught off guard, and I feel that's what led me to be here.
And that's the reason for the challenge. You were supposed to be caught off guard, and the more reason that you should have shown confidence and your skills to navigate, because that's what we're looking for. Chiambi, equally, you do not show me that you want this so much. Are you really hungry that you want to be part of the Diamond family? I don't see that in you. I do not. I do not see that in you, unfortunately. Last week, I did not see you present, but what I saw today, I feel really that much could have been done. At this point, 2 of you are going home. Let's start with you, Chiambi. Why should I keep you on the show?
Because I am a fast learner and I believe that I am the next diamond that you need.
Pezzo, why should I not send you home today?
Well, when I came on the show, I took it as a journey of self-discovery and also a way for me to learn and gain self-confidence. And I feel that at this stage that I've reached, I've really gained more confidence than I had when I first auditioned. So I feel I'll get better as time goes by.
Justin, what are you going to tell us this week?
Sir, I'm feeling much better, and I can promise you that I will give my best. I have learned a lot and I am learning more as I'm going along. And if you give me the opportunity to be with you and to continue with you, I promise to give you more and better.
Grace?
I am deserving, I am passionate, and I am hardworking. I am willing to fight any of these guys for the position, and I deserve to be the Diamond TV presenter. So this has been my dream, and I'm willing to work hard for it.
Like you all know, the ultimate decision stands with me and only me alone. It is always painful every week to see any of you walk away from this competition a sad person. Like I said last week, failure is not the end of everything. It's how you pick up the pieces. Some authors and great men and women of our generation have described success as failing 99 times and making it right on the 100th time. 2 of you are going home today. I hope this is not the end of your journey. You need to be hungry and you need to keep fighting enough. Unfortunately, if I eliminate you, it only means that you failed in your tasks this week. I'll continue saying this. Many of you who have made it to the final top 20 are very talented. But talent without discipline, talent without the urge to push yourself in learning, researching, being creative, and always wanting to add the extra on the ordinary is what will separate you from winners and quitters. Grace, you can do much better. I see great potential in you, but you're not taking this seriously. Justin, last week I told you this. You were in the bottom 3 and you find yourself there again. You need to ask yourself a question: why you find yourself always in the elimination zone? Pezzo, your best is not good enough. Chiambi, you need to start taking this seriously. I have made my ultimate decision. Justin, your road with the Diamond TV presenter search ends here. Unfortunately, you're not what I'm looking for. Thank you for participating, and I wish you all the best.
Well, I just graduated this year, so this was my first attempt at looking for a job, and so far I think it was good, and it just means that I have to go and look for work elsewhere or come back here next year. But for now, I'm going to take a breather and really reflect on what went on and on my performance so that I can work on it and just try and be better next time.
Pezzo, unfortunately you have to follow Justin. What I saw today was not what I expected from you.
Well, why I feel I've been let go of, I feel that I'm misunderstood. I've got a very subtle personality, very soft-spoken, so I might appear like I don't take things too seriously, but that's just who I am as, like that's my character. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
Chiambi, you're lucky that you did better than the two that have gone home today. But I need to be very honest with you that you're surviving on a very tight rope. And I want to see seriousness, and I want to see that you're hungry for this. Grace, you may say all the things that you want to say to me, but for me this is a high-stakes game where it's not about words but deeds. I need to see that you're putting your mouth on your actions. To the rest of you, I expect better in next week's challenge. Congratulations for making it through to the next round, and we'll see you next week.
The remainder of what my life is going forward, there's a lot to me, by the way. For those who don't know me, I've been doing this for a long time, and all I can say is that this is not the last that people have seen of me. There's definitely a lot that I have in store, and people should just, yeah, keep that on the lookout.